all the community casters have come together for the KungFu Cup, as we always do, every single week. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss. Oh, we lost the observer. We have our Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss representing Team Big Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Let's go. I was gonna say, Sayo, he wasn't the observer, but Sayo, he's an admin, and I think he's going to just like wrangle together Clem and Creator. I think he's gonna go help them set up with their vetoes and all that good stuff. Big shout out to Sayo. Sayo putting in a lot of work for SC Boy, KungFu Cup, and WTL. Good stuff. As we're getting into our PvP, and as to be expected, MaxPax, as we load into a map where it is typically unsafe to go for a gate expand, MaxPax is going for a gate expand here on the low ground. ShoWTimE opening up double gateway instead. Now, what I wanted to get into, in the previous map pool, we were able to cast MaxPax versus ShoWTimE. I think it was the best of 5. And ShoWTimE was looking damn strong, but we saw a very unique PvP. In the previous map pool, ramps were a lot more commonplace. There were a lot more commonplace in the previous map pool at the natural, which meant we saw a lot more gate expand versus gate expand. I'm talking about maps like, oh my god, Altitude, for example. Not quite Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern was on the low ground, but Altitude, what's the other one? Dragon Scales as well, among others. And because of that, we saw a lot of gate expands from both players. Because they were gate expands, they actually went into Stargate play, and every single game between ShoWTimE and MaxPax, when it comes to the series I'm talking about, was Phoenix versus Phoenix, because they had to go for Stargate openers. They scouted each other, they would go into Phoenixes, and they would be locked into Phoenix Wars. And that's where ShoWTimE was able to flex his superiority in a way, in that kind of scenario. But now we're on a new map pool, and on this new map pool, ramps at the natural are more rare, which means it is very unlikely for us to end up in Phoenix Wars. It's other than Site Delta, it shouldn't really be a thing. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE, he sees the economic opener of MaxPax, and he meets that with a gold base. I love this. I was talking about this, I think it was yesterday, when we casted MaxPax in a different PvP, and I was talking about how Hero would often punish MaxPax on Royal Blood last season by going for the gold base himself as his own natural. So even though MaxPax would open up economically, he would actually fall behind economically against Hero whenever they would play on Royal Blood, just because Hero would just be so willing to go crazy and take all the gold bases. So I love this for ShoWTimE. I do think this is a really good way to keep up with MaxPax. With the build, with the opener, I should say. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he doesn't know what's going on. He is going for a Void Ray first. He believes he's being all in. I mean, one Stalker goes out already. ShoWTimE snowballing out of control, forcing the overcharge. Oh my god. With his first 4 Stalkers, he's getting quite a lot done. Meanwhile, across the Oracle gets in, but we have a shield battery. The Oracle barely does anything. And ShoWTimE, he's getting a lot of damage done, at least until the Void Ray arrives. With this Void Ray, we have to respect it. We have to back off. Good kiting once again. Zealot goes down. So really good damage here from ShoWTimE. I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten a little bit more, but he will back off. And he's getting his natural up and running. He does recall over towards the gold. And he's getting into Blink. And MaxPax doesn't know. He's checking with the Oracle. He sees the lack of expansion. He's looking for a potential hidden base or a potential proxy as well. But we have a second Oracle on the way. This second Oracle tells us that MaxPax is aware that this gold base is a possibility. Even though MaxPax hasn't seen the gold, he's aware that it's a big potential factor. As a result, he's going for economic damage. 2 Oracles, 1-shot workers. There is not a lot to defend in the main. ShoWTimE has plenty to protect the gold base, not a lot to protect the main. And here we go, the Oracles are diving in, only 1 Stalker in position. And probes are going down. Oof. 3, 4, 5 workers, 6. An insane amount of damage is done. At the same time, we have adepts making their way towards the main. Sorry, towards the gold. Stalkers are ready. Again, ShoWTimE, he shuts down any aggression of the gold, but he struggles in the main and will lose 7 workers. MaxPax, he takes an economic lead. I would have said that ShoWTimE would have been ahead. He would have been ahead, but not anymore, as MaxPax, he's going for his own gold. We do have additional stalkers in position, but another 3 workers go down. These oracles are winning MaxPax this game, as ShoWTimE is taking a third. And he does still have a large stalker army. Bear that in mind. He's ahead in stalkers, and I do think that ShoWTimE can cancel this third. He has map control. He's throwing down a proxy pylon. Without shield batteries, even with this Void Ray, I don't think MaxPax can really contest against this army. ShoWTimE, he does push forward, and it does force a cancel. Really good, really well done here by ShoWTimE. Able to recognize that, of course, he has enough to take control of the map. Takes down one stalker. He dives on the Void Ray. He will bring it down as well. Void Ray will fall. Good counter blinks here from MaxPax, but we have the overcharge, and MaxPax, he will protect his natural. ShoWTimE rotates around, looking to deny and delay this third base once again. At the same time, Oracle comes in. ShoWTimE is paying attention. He keeps up. He does zone that Oracle away. MaxPax forced to expand here towards the south instead. ShoWTimE still has a stalker lead. And interesting, so ShoWTimE doesn't throw down a forge. No forge, no upgrades. He throws down 4 more gateways instead. ShoWTimE is looking to be hyper aggressive here, just doubling down on a purely gateway army. A borderline all in. Like, I know he's taking a third. True, he is taking a third base, but really aggressive play here out of ShoWTimE. He wants to be in the face of MaxPax. He wants to deny that third again if possible. Meanwhile, MaxPax rotating around. He has high ground vision. He's going for the main. Uh-oh. ShoWTimE doesn't see. And does he turn back around or does he commit? He's coming back home. He spots the army. He's a little bit too late. Has to recall instead. The prism. The prism goes down. MaxPax out positioning ShoWTimE. Stasis trap as well. Does get baited out. And that was a really strong move out of MaxPax. He doesn't kill a lot, but in killing that War Prism, that means that ShoWTimE can't push. Remember, ShoWTimE, he's ahead in Stalkers. Like, in a head-to-head fight, ShoWTimE will win. But he's being dragged back home. Yeah, Adept's going for a camp sack. Oh, the shots aren't lined up, unfortunately. So not getting that much damage done, only getting 1 probe. ShoWTimE will chase this army back. Now, thankfully for ShoWTimE, because he doesn't have a Warp Prism, he was forced to warp in defensively, so... forced to warp in at home, he does keep up with the Adept. MaxPax double expanding, getting his 3rd, and now a 4th up. ShoWTimE, he is ahead in Stalkers, but he's about to be behind in upgrades. We gotta go here and now! How good are the Blinks gonna be? As ShoWTimE is pushing towards that gold. Not the best engagement though. MaxPax has the concave. The prism has arrived, and ShoWTimE is essentially all in with this. He needs to break MaxPax here and now. But we're soon to have a shield battery and overcharge at the gold. MaxPax looking to come in from behind. ShoWTimE ignoring the army, going straight for the kill, going straight for the natural. He will snipe the Cybercore. No more Stalkers for MaxPax. Oh, he's looking for the Prism. He was hoping to catch a War Prism, doesn't quite get it. He does have a better concave though. Does have a better engage. As armies are going to be blinking back. We have reinforcements. GG gets called. ShoWTimE, he has too much. MaxPax couldn't warp in any more Stalkers, and ShoWTimE will take game number 1. Whew. GG, out positioning MaxPax towards the end there. And again, as we mentioned, ShoWTimE was all in. And I do really like how he played this out. I do think this is how you want to play against MaxPax, especially on Equilibrium. You want to take that gold. You want to try to fake out an all-in as well. Try to lure MaxPax into a false sense or into just, yeah, over-defending. Not really recognizing what's happening. And GG. GG, well played. Game 2 is Side Delta. I wonder, are we going to end up in Phoenix versus Phoenix Wars? Are we going to end up in the Phoenix Wars? Because Side Delta means that both players are going to be willing to go for gate expands, and they're both going to be denying each other's expansions. They're both going to be delaying. We should be seeing Stargate openers, which means Phoenixes. Oh boy. Now again, because of the map pool, this is more of a rarity. But we are getting into this. We're getting into game number 2. As a reminder, it's the best of 5. One more, uno más, is all ShoWTimE does need. And I still do favor him in the Phoenix battles, but well, we'll see. We'll see if we get there. See what kind of direction we take. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the Danish Protoss player. He is the best Protoss in Europe. He is, but he's struggling in this series representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player representing Team Big, Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Here we go. League Stalker count so important. Well, I mean, again, ShoWTimE was essentially 3-base all-in that last game. 3-base all-in, he didn't have a forge, no upgrades, no higher form of tech, it was just pure Blink Stalker. Which is why ShoWTimE was ahead in the Stalker count. It was all or nothing for him, and it worked. He was barely able to break MaxPax in the end. And ShoWTimE is going for a 2-gate... Okay. We have a gate expand out of MaxPax, a 2-gate opener out of ShoWTimE. We are not going to be getting Phoenix Wars. It is not happening. ShoWTimE refuses. And this could lead into a 1-base all-in. ShoWTimE, he has a probe in the center of the map. Throws down the Cybercore. Are we that crazy? Are we going to 2-base all-in on Side Delta where it is easier to defend? There's the pylon. Are we throwing down the proxy robo? Mate, ShoWTimE, he's wild. Of all maps in the map pool, this is not where I would have assumed ShoWTimE would have proxy roboed, but we'll see what it's going to be. Is it a robo, a Stargate, or the Gateway? Cybercore is about to finish up. Adepts are on the way. And it is a robo. It is a 1-base all-in. Alright. I think, based on this positioning, I think this is going to be for a Warp Prism first, especially if we continue making Adepts. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he's going to be looking for the proxy. This is not a standard location. He's going to be checking here on the other side of the rocks, which is where it should be.
Glory to the Daylong.
Back at home, Stargate opener. Out of MaxPax, there's a shield battery, should be for a Void Ray. And we do have more Adepts. So I believe this should be for a Prism. And the goal here for ShoWTimE is to drop the Adepts into the main and to get economic damage done. We'll see if he goes for an Immortal first instead. Yeah, there it is, more Prism. So this is a very different variation. It's going to be 3 gateways back at home. It is still all in, but because he opened up Adept, the goal here is to cripple the economy, not to break the defenses. And the hope is that MaxPax is out of position, but he throws down a shield battery in the main. But this is a shield battery designed to defend against, like, Blink Stalkers. Speaking of, Twilight Council's on the way. Here come the Adepts, here comes the War Prism, and ShoWTimE is going straight for the economy. This shield battery not within range to protect the mineral line. But there are Stalkers, there are Adepts. MaxPax, he has recognized what's going on. Yeah, Void Rays, they rotate around. First Adept is going to fall. But we're going to get some probes. We are getting economic damage done. Oh my god. 5 workers going down. Can we get a 6th? Up. Barely will not. Will actually. Oh my. Barely does get the 6th probe in the end. Not bad, but MaxPax still has the worker lead, and we have a 2nd Void Ray coming out. Behind this, it's going to be a Blink Stalker follow-up. Blink all in. Again, only 3 gateways here. We're not going for 4. But we already have that shield battery in position. This is still going to be a tough opponent to crack. As we have a 3rd Void Ray about to pop out. With 3 Void Rays, I don't know if ShoWTimE can break him, I'll be honest. 3 Void Rays, that's a lot of firepower. Third Void Ray does arrive. We have cannons, we have shield batteries, we can blink into the main, that is true, but we have cannons and shield batteries in the main as well. Yeah, I don't know how we can really break this. Looks like our attention is on the main base. Blink is still on the horizon, so we can't dive in. ShoWTimE is just threatening his opponent. Yeah, no expansion, of course. It's all or nothing for ShoWTimE. Looking at the units tab, we've got 13, soon to be 14 Stalkers against 4 Void Rays, soon to be 5. Now, the goal here, ShoWTimE, he has to bait out the Prismatic Alignment. He has to bait it out. He cannot fight under Prismatic Alignment either, just because of how easily Void Rays just melt through, or just, yeah, cut through these Stalkers. Which is why it's going to be difficult to blink into the main as well, because the Void Rays are ready. And we dive in! There's the Prismatic Alignments. We're going to try to avoid them, and it takes 2 volleys. No, the Void Rays, they stand strong. They take 3 volleys. ShoWTimE bleeding out a lot of his army there. And it looks like MaxPax should be able to clean this up. Yeah, all the Stalkers are going to go down. There's only 4 Stalkers left out of 14. GG gets called, and MaxPax will tie up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, I appreciated the proxy robo into Adept Harass, but alas, it didn't deal enough economic damage. It didn't put ShoWTimE ahead enough. And I think ShoWTimE was maybe hoping that MaxPax wouldn't set up shield batteries in the main. But MaxPax was so prepared in the main base for a fight, and he wanted ShoWTimE to blink in. That's what he was hoping for. That's what the Void Rays wanted as well. But crazy. Oh god. Crazy to see ShoWTimE all in on side Delta. Didn't quite work out. Wasn't expected to, but good effort nonetheless. And now we have an ace match. We're going into game 3. Here we go. And what kind of direction are we going to be going in game 3? So we're going to be loading into Hecate. There is a half gold base, which isn't a bad base to take, but yeah, I don't know if we're going to be going for a ninja base here, like we did on Equilibrium. I don't think it's quite as strong or quite as powerful, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of direction we go in. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Tying up the series 1-1. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss representing Team Big Berlin International Gaming. It is ShoWTimE. Oh, here we go. Once again, a gate expand here from MaxPax. ShoWTimE opening up double gate. Again, I'm still shocked that ShoWTimE opened up double gates on site Delta. Like, it would have been a good opportunity to just go toe-to-toe with MaxPax. I think it would have been a good chance for ShoWTimE, but alas, did try to go all in instead. And now, what do we have in store for ourselves here on Hecate? Now, the reason why I was fine with Equilibrium was because, again, we saw that even if MaxPax opens up more economically here on the low ground, you can take advantage of MaxPax by going for the gold base, which ShoWTimE did to great effect. Here on Hecate, there's a half goal base, I guess. So because of that, it's not as impactful if we did try to take this as its natural. It's also a lot more exposed compared to on Equilibrium. Because of that, oh, it is not a 2-gate opener. It's on the high ground, yes, but ShoWTimE is looking to go for a gate expand. Okay, interesting. So the same build. Technically, it's the same build, except ShoWTimE has a worse setup defensively at the natural. So mirrored builds here from our opponent, just different execution. ShoWTimE making it look like he's going for a 2-gate opener. And both players are going to be looking to expand. ShoWTimE just trying to be as annoying as possible. And there it is. He does force out the Stargate. Another Stargates are on the way. So I thought that the only map that we would end up in Phoenix Wars would be Side Delta. We have potential. Yep, they spot each other. MaxPax sees the Stargate. ShoWTimE sees the Stargate. Both players should be expanding and taking their natural bases. We have the natural on the way for MaxPax. We have the natural on the way for ShoWTimE. And we should be getting to Phoenix versus Phoenix. Oh boy. I knew that we would get it at one point in this series, but I was convinced it was going to be Side Delta. I guess not. But we'll see if we head in a different direction. Show us what you got. There it is. Phoenix is on the way. Phoenix on the way here for ShoWTimE. We are locked into Phoenix Wars. It's happening. Again. First couple units are going to be duking it out. ShoWTimE coming out worse for wear is going to have to respect the position of MaxPax. And the thing about PvP is that once you start making Phoenixes, you can't stop. It's not possible. There it is. MaxPax immediately going for a second Stargate. We should be seeing a second Stargate from ShoWTimE as well. Oh, Adept does make it in. But this second Stargate from ShoWTimE is quite delayed, actually. I'm a little bit concerned. There it is. Now it's on the way. But because it's so late, MaxPax will have just a higher Phoenix count to begin with. So ShoWTimE is going to have to take a more defensive position. He can't be too aggressive. Otherwise, the defender's advantage is going to kick in and MaxPax can overwhelm ShoWTimE. But yeah, PSA for PvPs if you're curious. Like again, once you start, you can't stop. You gotta. It's an addiction, Papi, an addiction. But essentially, if either player stops making Phoenixes, they're gonna lose. They just die. There is no way to kind of get out of this. Which is also why it's really risky whenever a player throws down a fleet beacon, for example, because that does disrupt Phoenix production. Likewise, if any player tries to tech up into carriers, that's also a really risky moment, because they do also stop Phoenix production to make that happen. The other important thing about this is MaxPax does have a Phoenix lead, again, because of the faster second Stargate. He is ahead. He is going to be threatening the bases of his opponent. The other big thing about PvP here in this situation is stack defense, cannons and shield batteries. Cannons and shield batteries actually do play a pretty big role, and they can make or break a fight for you. So even if you're down a Phoenix or down 2 Phoenixes, if you have an overcharge, especially early on in the first half of the game, in the mid game, and then you can take a better fight. Let's see, here we go. The Adept is going to be forcing the Phoenixes in, and ShoWTimE is ready for it. Oh, sorry, MaxPax is ready for it. Be very careful here. Oh, just canceling those lifts. That was close. So basically what was happening there, MaxPax, he was baiting a Graviton lift from the Phoenixes, because that would mean 100% that one Phoenix would not be attacking. And here we go, we committed. MaxPax, he does have the Phoenix lead. They will bounce off each other. ShoWTimE looking to take a third base. Likewise, so is MaxPax, as he's going to be taking the triangular third. ShoWTimE going for the linear third instead. Both players, they throw down their fleet beacons. And we are just settling into this. Yeah, that was a very tense moment. But I love to see the counter micro from ShoWTimE just dropping the Adept as well. dropping it just in time to make sure that he had all of his Phoenixes to attack. Again, these fights are on a knife's edge. Like one Phoenix over your opponent can just win you a fight and can win you the game. Which is why that was a really tense moment. Now with the Fleet Beacon, we have Phoenix range for both players on the way. Slightly faster for ShoWTimE, but not the biggest advantage. As ShoWTimE is actually taking the triangular third, not the linear third. Both players are still focusing on Phoenix production. No one has thrown down any shield batteries yet. Or any cannons. There's no forge. Just hyper-fixated on Phoenixes. We actually can't get into any stack defense until we get 3-base saturation. The reason for this is because you actually don't have the money for it. It's very close, but right now both bases are still maintaining double stop, like constant double stop or Phoenix production. We can't let up. Cannot let up on the Phoenixes. There it is. Now that the thirds are being saturated, this is when we can start to afford a third Stargate. And potentially a Forge. Oh, we're going for a Mothership, actually. Okay. Rushing into a really early Mothership for MaxPax. Mothership can mean that MaxPax can recall, or he can be more aggressive. He has an extra recall available. He can also use Cloak. And that could be a game-winning move. Shield batteries are on the way. There is 0 detection, by the way. 0 detection for ShoWTimE. We've seen this before, but this Mothership timing straight up can win the game. It's the equivalent of like a DT coming in and killing you. Like where instead of a DT, it's just a mass flock of invisible Phoenixes. So this is actually pretty big. And ShoWTimE doesn't know. He's throwing down pylons. He's getting a third Stargate. And this, yeah, this could be it. Mothership's on the way. It's going to be able to cloak. And the Phoenix count is very close, very neck and neck. By the time ShoWTimE kills the Mothership, he's going to lose like 4 or 5 Phoenixes. Like, it's going to be over. Like, there's no other way around it. He just hasn't been able to scan and confirm what's going on, and yeah, this may just be a sure thing. We'll see if ShoWTimE can make some magic happen. Again, ShoWTimE, he is ahead in Phoenixes, but that lead isn't going to matter much. Not against this. Okay, ShoWTimE, he does have an Oracle on the way. Very important. Oracle is on the way. We need that revelation. As MaxPax pushes out across the map. And probes are going down. Mothership has been revealed. Yeah, there's the cloak, and 1 Phoenix goes down already. We do have the revelation. Is it going to be enough? We have the slow zone as well. MaxPax ahead in Phoenixes. Yeah, he's just bullying ShoWTimE back. Yeah, it was too much of an advantage early on. ShoWTimE gonna try and fight back here. He has a sentry to support as well. He does force MaxPax back. +1 air attack is on the way. Big upgrade for MaxPax. MaxPax is ahead in Phoenixes, and yeah, without the shield battery, I don't think we can win this fight. The Mothership was too good, Bappy. It was just far too good. And MaxPax, he's snowballing out of control. GG gets called. And MaxPax will take game number 3 and the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, MaxPax able to get into that Mothership, able to support his army quite well. Sure, we had an Oracle, we had a Revelation, but alas, it was not good enough. And now we're getting into our next series. MaxPax is going to be waiting in the grand finals. A big shout out to ShoWTimE. He did very well for himself to make it into the ace match, and I still feel like we could have seen something very different out of side delta. Like I didn't quite like the all-in on side delta, I'll be honest. I wasn't too fond of it. Wasn't too fond of it in the end. But regardless, GG, well played. MaxPax will make it to the finals, and we're here to find out who comes out next. Who comes out next in this series? Who is going to meet him? Is it going to be is it going to be Clem or Creator? We go. It looks like the players actually need a little bit of time. Oh, we don't want to be left behind. Okay, we're good. Vetoes are done, and of course, Clem and Creator, they've been patiently waiting here in the upper semifinals, and the question becomes, who's going to make it to the finals? Are we going to see a TVP or a PvP? We're going to be going for a short break, and when we return, we'll have the upper semi. So take this moment to hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, tuck in your tempest, and when we come back, we'll have our TVP. See you soon.